Hello and welcome to Heal Your Heart After Baby Loss. I'm Julia Go, and today I'm going to talk to Steph about her story. So, welcome. Thank you so much, Steph. Yeah, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself for everyone who doesn't know you?
Yeah, so my name is Steph. I currently live in Taupo. I am from the sunny town of Gisborne. I've been in Taupo for 5 years now, coming up 6. And yeah, I'm a reporter, so I tell stories for a living. And that's pretty much all that's exciting about me. yeah, just yeah, a small town girl going to another small town. So that's really yeah, well, that's really exciting. That's yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's a great place to be. I can,
yeah. It is. It really is. No, it's
yeah,
nice. Yeah,
I understand that. Okay, well, thank you for your introduction. I'm sure we get to know you a little bit more. But yeah, if you want to share with us your story of loss
yeah, yeah,
when you're ready.
yeah. No, so my story with my loss started in October of 2017. Yes, when I found out I was pregnant for the first time, my
Mm,
first baby. So excited, very excited, because always wanted to be a mum. I have a lot of nephews and a couple of nieces. So I've always wanted to be the mum, and I thought finally it was my time. Probably fast forward to about 9 weeks, I started getting just some abnormal bleeding, and so it's just yeah, that was quite scary. I didn't know if baby was going to stay, if it was going to pass. But it stuck in there and it hung there. It hung in for a bit. Got to 12 weeks, the day before my 12-week scan, and I had a massive bleed. A big blood clot actually fell into the toilet, and I honestly thought it was my baby.
mm,
Coming out, I had to get my partner to check. But no, it was just a big blood clot, and so baby was still sticking in there. Went to the scan the next day, and the heartbeat was strong, and everything was fine. So I thought, obviously, it's meant to be. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the end. Um, Rest of the pregnancy was very smooth. Just your typical backache, heartburn, uncomfortable sleeping, constantly needing to pee, just that kind of stuff. So I was loving it. I was loving every minute of it because I knew at the end I was going to have my baby.
mhm,
Um, yeah, so my labour started. I think I was about 41, maybe 40 weeks and 5 days. I was overdue. Um, my labour kick-started around 9 a.m. on July 3rd, 2018. Just contractions, and then about 7 p.m. I was admitted into Taupo maternity just because labour had progressed, and yeah, so spent the next I don't know about 5-6 hours just labouring. Pushed for 2.5 hours, and then he finally came out, and I had my little boy. I was a mum, but the thing I noticed the most was that he wasn't crying. There was absolutely no sound from him,
mm,
and my midwife was doing her best. I could see that she was doing her best to comfort me and just to reassure me and not to get me to panic, but still working on him and trying to think of why he wasn't and trying to get him to breathe and um, or at least cry. And so she quickly realised that things weren't good. So she hit the emergency button, and the ED staff were in there so fast, they were in there. And then I spent the next hour, that was at 4:09 a.m. on July 4th. So I spent the next hour, me, my partner, and my mum spent the next hour watching the staff fight for him. And all I can recall very clearly is just watching the nurses pump his chest, trying to get his heart to beat, and just swap him because their hands were getting sore because they were just trying to get his heart to beat. At 5:09, the doctor came up to us and said that there wasn't anything more they could do. They'd fought for him for as long as they could. He just wasn't participating. Like, they'd given him adrenaline, they put they tried to put a line in, they put a tube in, and he just kind of, no, he said he didn't want to be there, and that was that really. So yeah, he passed away at 5:09 a.m. and at that time we had no idea why. He was classed as a sudden death. not a stillborn because he was born alive. Because he was classed as a sudden death, we had no choice. He had to go away for an autopsy. So we had about maybe 6 hours with him when they took him away. The police were there because he was a sudden death, so it's just apparently protocol. But nothing makes you feel worse than just losing your child and then the police being there. And it's just
Well,
like,
how did that look like? Like they were with you in the room and they were asking
there was a,
questions?
there was a, there was a lady sitting outside the room the whole time, a police officer. She just sat outside our room. I don't know why. I think it might have. I really don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get why. I think I do in a way because he was a sudden death that the police had to be there just to, because they had to do their own investigation, just to make sure, I guess, that the hospital staff did the best they could, or maybe it was us. Maybe they needed to check that we didn't do something. I don't know, but it wasn't very clear at the time, and it still isn't clear now. I
Yeah.
guess I didn't really follow it up, but yeah. So then he went off for his autopsy, and he came back to us on July 6th, and we buried him July 7th. And yeah, it was a really crappy time. Yeah, it was just all blur. Like
Oh,
the
blur.
whole, all just meshed into one, really. And there's just bits I remember really vividly, like the nurses pumping his chest, and yeah, my partner, the doctor deciding just to wrap him up and give him to us. And I remember saying to the doctor, I don't want him because you should be fighting, you should be trying to get him to cry. And I just
Yeah.
remember my partner grabbing him and breaking down, and that's a image stuck in my mind as well, because I'd never seen him cry until that point. So yeah, it turned a lot of tough men. It turned them, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very hard month, that month. Yeah. So
Yeah, of course, for probably all of you. So your
yeah,
family was there with you too in this period of time, or how did that?
yeah. When I told my mum that I'd gone into labour, her and Dad made the trip up from Gisborne. They wanted to be there. They got there when I was still in labour, which was really good. Because I just don't know how I would have got through that without my mum being there, or my dad, because they're both, yeah, they're my people. And I remember just saying to my mum, "Why isn't he crying? Why isn't he crying, mum? Like, shouldn't he be crying?" And mum's just, you could see my mum was trying to reassure me, but the worry in her eye was very clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I'm just glad that they were there, because then they got to cuddle him and just be with him. Yeah, so
At that time.
yeah, at the time, yeah. And then my parents took the following week off to spend with me and my partner, so that was nice of them. It was good because I loved having them here, but yeah, it's just a very, very hard year, that half of the year that was. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you spend those days in between? You said he went, like they took them after 6 hours away to do the autopsy, right?
Yeah.
And it took 2 days
Yeah. Yeah.
for you.
Um, yeah. That was just spent planning his funeral, really. A lot of people coming to work, like, just to express their condolences. Yeah, it was just a very talking to the she's a celebrant, but yeah, talking to her about his service, and talking to the funeral home about all the stuff that we needed to sort out, deciding what clothes he would wear after he got embalmed. But I was mainly very angry those few days, just because I didn't want him to go. I just, being in a hospital without us just wasn't right to me.
Yeah.
He should have come home with us, and he
Yeah.
didn't. So I remember they said to me that he'd be there only a night. He'll go to, because he had to go to Auckland for it. And I was very, very, very grateful. My mother-in-law actually went with him. He
Oh
didn't go
wow.
alone.
How did that work? Like she was
She had
there.
to drive, her own car.
Yeah.
they wouldn't let her in the hearse with him.
Mm.
And then he just waited in waiting rooms at the hospital while they did their thing. It was she happened to know someone that was at the hospital that he went to, so they were able to explain what they were doing to him, and all that stuff, making it just a lot easier for her at the time. But yeah, I just love that she went with them, because I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
But no, I just got very angry because, yeah, they told me he was going to be home. So that was the Wednesday he passed. They told me he was going to be home Thursday, and then I got told by Michelle, my mother-in-law, that oh no, they're running late. He's not leaving until Thursday night, and then he still had to be embalmed. So they finally got him to the funeral home here in Taupo on Thursday night, and then yeah, he still had to be embalmed. So I still wasn't allowed to get him for another night.
Yeah.
And so we didn't actually get him until Friday lunchtime. Yeah, I remember going into the funeral home Friday morning just to finish sorting some stuff out, and I didn't realise he was going to be still in the room that he was in. So I walked in there thinking I'll grab his stuff, but he was there, and I was just like not prepared for it. And it's like,
Yeah. Wow.
why is he still here? Why is he not? Why are these processes not happening so he can come home to us? Like, yes, no, that was a very hard few days. That just when you're planning a funeral, you talk about the life they had and the things they loved, and he didn't have any of that. So it's like, what do you say? What do you do? How do you do a funeral for a baby? Because he didn't have a life. So,
how did you cope with that? How did you make meaning of that at that time?
I just I honestly can't remember. I know that me and my partner just did what we had to do, really. But we just, I guess I just like to share what I had planned for him, like what I kind of pictured he would be,
Yeah.
the kind of boy he would be, or yeah, just that, yeah, just imagining, yeah, it was just hard. So yeah.
Who was there with you in the funeral? Did your whole family, friends attend?
Yeah, I honestly, when I sent the text, because I text people to let them know that he had passed away, because we've got a lot of friends and family. Both my partner and I sent a text out to say that he had passed and that his funeral was going to be on that Saturday. I knew it was short notice. It was only about 2 days notice they had to sort out coming to Taupo. Every text I got back was, we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there. And so when I turned up on the Saturday and just saw the car park full, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't expect that many people. Like, it just, I don't know, I kind of just thought it was just going to be a family thing. And I knew people wanted to be there, but maybe couldn't, and that was fine. But no, I remember clearly my Gisborne friends, because I have quite a big group of Gisborne friends and family. And I remember they all just kind of walked out together from the car park, and I just went to them, and they all just circled me and hugged me, and I just broke down with them. And that was a very, very nice, like a very tough, like that got me. And I remember carrying him in with his dad, and then just seeing the whole room packed, just completely packed. And I was just like, oh, this is amazing. For a little baby that no one met, they've all come to help to be with us, to be there for us and for him. So,
and to meet him. I mean, having that chance to at least saying hello and goodbye.
Yeah. No, that was, yeah. I still get shivers now from it, because it's just, yeah.
Well, I'm getting goosebumps hearing it. I don't know, it's just wonderful that you have so great friends and the support from them and understanding, and I think that is really, really valuable. Great, I love it. Do you think, like, how do you feel in the sense of getting support in the hospital, or yeah, is there anything that you think maybe you would have liked more of, or that you think that was really, really helpful? I hope everyone has this kind of support.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I had great support from everything. Every aspect I went, I had great support.
Mm-hmm.
The minute we realised my son had passed, my backup midwife, she came up to me and just said, unfortunately, I know what you're going through. 24 years ago today, I think she said, my first son passed.
Um,
Um, and then the chaplain came in who did a little karakia for Connor, his name. I have a rainbow son, Isaac, and so I get them confused quite a lot. I call Isaac
yeah.
Connor and Connor. And it's just
I want
typical mum.
Oh,
It's just
exactly. Happens to all, to everyone.
I even
Um,
call Connor Ranger. That's my dog's name. I don't know why, but I do it all the time. But yeah. So when the chaplain came in to do a prayer for Connor, she said she knew what I was going. Well, she understood what I was going through because she had lost a child as well. And I guess it might sound a bit funny, but I just liked to hear that I wasn't the only one. Just
mhm.
knowing that you're
Yes,
not the only one is
yes.
just
I think
uh,
everyone who's listening right now says, yeah, I understand. Everyone who might not have a similar experience might be like, why? But it can be so
yeah.
helpful to know that the person understands you.
Because the minute Connor passed, all I could think of was why me? Why me? Why did this happen to me? Not that I want it to happen to anyone else, because I never want anyone to go through this.
Hmm.
Whether it's a miscarriage, like a baby, a stillborn at birth, a loss like mine, or just a loss in general. Like it's heartbreaking. But all I could think of was why me? What did I do? Why did this happen to me? And then having the midwife and the chaplain say, I understand. It made the blow less hard, I guess, but it's still hard.
It
But
is.
yeah, but I was able to. I had very good counselling. I was offered 2 lots of counselling services, which was good. My midwife was very quick to refer me to those, and what SANS, very much SANS.
Sense,
My
yeah.
Yeah, the SANS coordinator here, she rang me after I flicked her a text because the hospital gave me a pack with everything I needed.
Yeah.
Um, and the hospital was great too. The midwives, everyone, they didn't push me out. They didn't make me leave. They didn't make me stay, which is what I did not want to do. I did not want to stay.
Yeah.
But they gave me what I needed, what they thought I would need to help me
Yeah.
get through. And yeah, the SANS family now are just, they're my lifeline. I go to the monthly meetings. Well, when they were happening, I went to them. Um, yeah,
Before
no,
life stopped.
yeah. Oh, God. I'd looked forward to them. I really did, because it's my time to talk about Connor and just
Yeah.
to, yeah. But no, just really knowing that other people knew, and that's where the SANS, yeah, really
Yeah.
helped. The support through them was, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. I agree with that part of the support and connection with just other women or
yeah,
families in that situation. I went to a grief support group, which I was lucky to live so close to the next city, because they're not everywhere. It's the same here in New
no,
Zealand.
yeah,
But I had the I guess the possibility to get there at least. I mean, it took me an hour to go there, but I was happy to take
yeah,
an hour. And it's just a different kind of connection that you don't have with anyone else telling your story and talking about your children. It's as if you tell anyone else, you feel like after a while they're like, no,
Yeah.
We're done now. Thank you. We kind of like, we're still sorry for you, but when you're in that situation, you're not like, I'm not talking about this so you're sorry. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about
Yeah.
this so you give me a hug or you
Yeah.
feel like I'm the poor woman. I'm talking about this because this baby is supposed to be part of my life.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
supposed
No.
to be here right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Yeah.
want to talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm just very lucky that all my friends and family are very open to talking about him. Very open. And I guess I don't really give them a choice. I just I talk about him, and if they don't want to listen, they can not listen. But I just talk about him, and a lot of them they do just welcome it. But yeah, I do understand some. There have been some people that I have seen their face that yeah, you can tell they're awkward. They're just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
do we have to talk about this again, or do we have to talk
Yeah.
about this some more? And it's like, well,
Yeah. And I don't think, like, I don't want to blame my friends. That's not what I want to say, I don't want to say like, you're a bad friend because you don't know how to react to this. It is so hard. I
yeah,
know that I probably, before I had this experience, would have had problem understanding.
yeah,
And that's that's just sometimes the way it is. Like some people have more experience with deaf in general
yeah,
and more, and I didn't have children before, so that's another part that I probably would have not had that connection. For me in general, I experienced friends who had children were
mm,
more empathetic
yeah,
than other friends in the same age um, who did not think about having children yet. Or we're just
yeah,
like, well, okay, then your life is like it was before. Go
yeah.
ahead, live it. Um,
Yeah, no, not that easy.
yeah. So it's they didn't say it that rude, but somehow that was sometimes what came out of their mouth.
It's what, yeah, it's what I would hear. Like, yeah, it's not necessarily what they said, but it was what I heard. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
So, yeah, thank you for sharing. And I hope it's okay that we're just, going in that conversation because I feel like that's something that helps
I,
other women too if they listen to it because they might have had
yeah, no, that's
similar
fine.
experiences.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Um, so I think like one thing that I'm curious about is did you name Connor earlier in your pregnancy, or was that the name that came to you after birth, or
But,
how?
yeah, it came probably about maybe in the last month of my pregnancy.
Yeah.
Right up until then, he was Leo.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just weird. And then my partner just came and said, I've kind of just gone off Leo and I was like, I really love Connor. Let's go with
Yeah.
Connor. And yeah, so that was his name. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
hard. My partner and I could not agree. It took us a long time. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Interesting. For me, it was super fast, like really early. And I think about 12 weeks we already knew um the name. Before he was Marble,
Yeah.
and then he was Simon, or Simon. I'm from Germany, so just the different pronunciation. Um, so what do you think? Does it help you to have that name and that connection? Like, or do you think it made it harder?
No, it was. I liked having it. I liked having that connection.
Mhm.
I do remember saying to my partner, "Are we still going to call him Connor? Because what if we have another baby and we another boy and we want that name?" But then my partner was just straight up and was like, "He's Connor.
Yeah.
He is Connor. Like it doesn't matter if we have another boy after. If we have another boy, whatever. This baby is Connor." So I'm glad he said that because obviously at the time my mind was just. Bleh.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, yeah, I just didn't know what I was thinking. I just asked that, but no, he got the name because we named him after two of his granddads as well. Well, his papa and his great granddad, and so he had a very family name. So then I was just saying I just remember asking him, do we give him this name because he's not here to share it? But no, my partner was very, very clear that's his name. That's
Yeah,
who he is,
yeah,
and I'm glad we did that because that is who he is now. And he looked like a Connor. He suited his name, and that was it. I couldn't imagine
mhm,
naming him anything else now.
yeah.
So yeah,
And do you include him in your family life right now? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all the time. We visit him weekly. Um, yeah, I always talk about him. My partner has two kids to a previous relationship, so they always talk about him. They always include him. We always include him in birthday cards, Christmas cards, everything. It's whenever I say I have children, I say I have four because of my two stepchildren, Connor and my rainbow. I always say four. I never say three.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a habit, and because I do have four children, it's how
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, no, he's included in everything we do, really. Like just
Yeah.
in my mind, anyway. Might not be physically, but he's there.
Yeah. I find it interesting that some people um, seem to find it challenging if we do that. Uh,
Yeah,
but if someone would ask me if about my grandparents, I would not deny them either. Like
yeah,
I also have three grandmas because my grandpa married again, and it's not like only because one of them is not there anymore, I'm not gonna mention her.
yeah, yeah. No,
But yeah, it seems sometimes weird for other people, and I think it is important, and I had get the feeling that you're definitely doing that,
yeah,
to stand your ground with that, and just know that it is okay to feel this way and act this way, and that you're thinking about, what if he still was here, and that you're always like acting like he is here and it's
yeah,
his birthday and what.
yeah. Like I don't feel like this might I don't know how to say, but like I'm crazy with
Yeah,
how I include him. Like I don't talk. I don't sit there and have conversations with myself pretending they're him.
yeah,
Just include him. Like
yeah,
it's important to me that that's what I do.
yeah.
So yeah, his birthday's coming up in 2 months, or in July, and so we will be having a cake for him and going to the cemetery
Mm,
to have that cake for morning tea. Um, I'll buy him a birthday card because that's what I'll do all my kids because I
yeah.
have a little memory box for him that I have everything in. But yeah, I don't feel like I'm nutty, but yeah, I
Well,
just like to include him
yeah.
in my life because he's my son. He made me a mum, and no matter what happens, he still exists to me, and that's important to me. And yeah, so
I
what I feel like I need to do.
and I think there's also a difference between living in the past, um, and living in the now and honoring our children.
Yeah, and that's what I really feel like I'm doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to forget him, and I know other people might, but I won't, and
yeah,
that's what matters to me is I won't forget him. I
exactly.
can't. Yeah.
No, no, I don't think we ever will. Like
No.
even things are maybe getting out of focus eventually. I don't think people who after years are kind of forgetting things,
Mm.
parts of the stories or times or whatever, are bad people or don't love their babies.
Yeah.
um
No,
and
I don't think that. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a different way of being in general. I also know that there are some moms who don't know that about their living children. Like, all right, yeah, I need to look up what time you were born. Like, okay,
Yeah,
well, it's not, it's a time. It's just a
yeah,
number.
yeah,
Has nothing to do with the love you're feeling.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Um, One thing you said, and I've heard that, I think almost in all three calls before, is why me?
yeah. Yeah,
How did you make sense out of that question?
still haven't. Yeah, I still haven't. I still think now, why don't I have my coming up 2-year-old running around? Like, why? What? Yeah, why? Why was I given this life? I guess. Yeah, I still haven't made sense of it. I still ask myself every day.
Yeah.
Just, especially having my rainbow, I see him and think, Connor should have done all this stuff. Connor should have laughed, should have
Mm.
cried, should have made me want to rip my bloody hair out, but he didn't because he's not here. But it's just it. But what I've come to accept is that I would not have known life with both my sons in it. So I've just kind of stopped dwelling on it. Like, I still wonder it, but I don't dwell on it as much, because
Mm.
if Connor had lived, Isaac wouldn't have been here. And so yeah, I've just accepted that I would not know life with my both my sons in it.
Mhm.
And I think Connor might have sacrificed himself so Isaac could be here. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just think, why, why me? Yeah. And
Yeah.
my friends have said to me, it's because I'm strong, and I'm probably one of the only ones who could deal with this. And it's that didn't help in a way, because it's just like, but why though? Why am I so strong enough to deal with this? I don't feel strong. Like, I don't. Like,
Yeah.
I yeah, I spent every night for the first month crying myself to sleep. I mean, it's just,
And
yeah, instead of lying next to my baby, I was just lying in silence and just trying not to let my partner hear that I was crying again, because he'd never made me feel bad though. Every time I cried, he would cuddle me, and he he's not one for words, but he did support me and comfort me in every way he could. But yeah, just every night, yeah, just couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I still haven't come to terms with it. I still haven't accepted it. I've accepted it. I just still haven't come to terms with why it was me. But yeah,
yeah,
I still ask myself. But yeah,
I think it is a really, well, it is a hard question to ask in general, because you could ask that about everything in your life.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can ask that about the family you're born into. Why me?
Yeah,
And sometimes sometimes it's why am I born in this great family? Or, why do I have this amazing rainbow baby? Why me is always, I think, hard to answer. And I think one thing that helped me to come to terms with it is that I started to believe in the concept of soul families, and having known my son and everyone that is part of my life before I came into this world. And
mm,
as crazy as it sounds, like, I mean, sometimes you get a little bit more goo than you were before when you when you lose someone. As crazy as it sounds, for me, it gives me comfort. It has nothing to do with, like, I don't care if it's not true. I don't have anything to lose believing it.
yeah,
But if I believe that maybe there is, he chose to be with me because he only had this one last lesson to learn of. So in that concept, it's that children's souls are the most wise souls, and of all. And we every life we learn a different lesson, or sometimes we repeat lessons because we haven't learned them before. But we choose our families And he might have chosen me because he knew that I would be great for him to learn this lesson of having just such a short life. And it's been a life with a lot of suffering. So just short for you, like my son was born premature and lived for 5 days. And he's been going through multiple surgeries and had just a lot of complications throughout this time. And I've seen that he's been suffering.
Yeah.
And maybe he chose me because he knew that I would be there as a support.
Yeah.
And that I also would survive that without completely breaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, that it's just trying to make meaning in a way that is supporting us to I don't want to say move on, because move on has this connotation of, you know, it's not worth thinking about it, but moving forward. And
yeah, I say that all the time.
Yeah,
moving forward.
Yeah, and just, you know, making whatever already happened, because we can't change it. And using it for us.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally get that. Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about that, what do you think for you are like, or what is the greatest learning that you got through this experience, or what's something that you think would not be possible without?
I guess just a lot of empathy. Yeah, a lot of empathy. I just, yeah, like I was already a caring person, but just extra caring now, and I find that I'm more of a sook these days too. I used to have quite a hard exterior, but now I just let things in a lot more. But no, definitely a lot of empathy. I guess I learned too not to say, like, to people who have lost a baby as well, like, or a child, I don't say I know what you're going through, because I really don't. I don't know what that particular person is going through. I say I understand, or I have an idea. I don't know, and because that's what I found hard with, also with losing a baby, is that a lot of people did come up to me and say, "Oh, I know what you're going through," and it's like, well, you know, it's cool, but do you? You know, like, do you really know what I'm going through? But it was good to know people have had similar, you know, not to know you're not the only one, but when with people to say, "Oh, I know exactly what you're going through," and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I found that hard to swallow, hearing that, but I've learned not to say that to people, because, yeah, I don't know what someone is going through who, like you, who had your child for a few days. I don't know what that's like. I wouldn't even want to imagine, because it's hard, like, because you got to know your baby a little bit, and I only got to know Connor for not even an hour, but still, it's just, I didn't. Yeah, I don't know what everyone goes through. So that's what I've learned, is not to say that.
Exactly.
Personally, yeah.
That's a great learning. I think that's one of the things that I've learned too, that we're not, we don't know what other people think or feeling, especially not before we ask them.
Yeah.
Sometimes even one thing that I learned afterwards, so I learned that through my life's experience, and one thing that I learned afterwards, which made a lot of sense of me, is even if we talk about the same feelings, like someone says he's angry, she's angry, it feels different for us. So we kind of make concept around that word, but everyone feels anger or sadness or happiness or joy totally different in their body, which is yeah, I don't know, just something that I never thought about, but it makes so much
Yeah,
sense. How would it feel the same
yeah,
for all of us?
yeah. No, exactly.
And yeah, if someone says I'm sad, you know, I have just a broad picture around what's going
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
just an idea. Um, thank you. Do you think there's anything in general that you I don't even know. I wanna say that made it easier. I know it probably didn't make it easier because I didn't feel like something was easy. Um,
Yeah,
but I guess that made you feel most supported. Like if there's someone now watching who knows someone in their life who's experienced a loss, um, how could they help this person? Because you had great friends, you have great experience,
yeah,
how they supported you.
yeah. Just, they all just checked in. I guess that was the best thing.
Mm,
Like, didn't matter. They all just, yeah, they just always asked how I was, even though they knew how I was. They would just say, just think, no, I'm thinking of you today. That's all. They
mm,
didn't expect me to reply. They didn't expect anything. They were just,
yeah.
yeah. And I think what really helped me get through was them. My support system was very, very good. But also my stepmother-in-law, my partner's stepmom. She lost a child. Her daughter was 17 when she passed.
Oh,
Coming up about 10 years ago, I think 11, maybe even 12. I'm not sure, to be honest. It wasn't baby, so obviously not similar, but she knew what it was like to bury a child. And so just having that in my family helped. Just she she had no idea what I was going through. She
mm,
knew what I was going to be missing out on because she was missing out on stuff. Like
yeah,
she, yeah, she knew, and it was just good having her there because I related to her. We bonded over that. It's a really crappy thing to bond over, but we did, and it's made us so much closer. So
mm,
yeah, it was,
yeah,
it was yeah, it was just having someone who had in my family who had an idea. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I think sometimes that's like some things that I also needed to focus on, is looking at those things that were possible, um, because I lost my son. The
yeah,
friends that I found, I'm really grateful for.
yeah,
Um, people with a similar experience like that I would not have met without losing him. You
yeah.
know, I don't want to say that, okay, that's totally worth it.
Yeah, I know. No, I know what you
but
mean.
but focusing on what good has come from it, is definitely helpful.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand that because Connor's death brought our family together. It really did.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we had grandparents who didn't talk to each other, and then they talked to each other at his funeral, and it
Mm.
really brought us all closer. So, yeah, it's not that I wouldn't take my son back in a heartbeat, but it's just that yeah, we were glad that it did bring us all closer. Yeah, it's just a
Mm.
really crappy reason as to why. Yeah,
But
but
I also see that that's not the case for everyone. And so I guess we can be really grateful for that,
yeah,
having that support, having that connection that is getting stronger and stronger. And I know that some people just feel like they're completely on their own afterwards.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
and I just don't know how I couldn't do it, and I'm just so very very thankful for the
yeah.
people I have. Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
Is there anything else right now that comes up for you that you would like to share? Something that you would like to know someone in a similar situation, or
No, I can't think of anything. Nothing's popped into my mind. I've shared all I can really think of.
hmm,
Yeah,
is
no.
there anything that you would have liked to know? I think you were like already you got good support through Sense and things like that. But is there anything that you would have liked um, to know that you had to learn the hard way or too
Uh,
late, quote unquote?
yeah. Ah, yeah. I don't know. I
That
don't
does
know.
not need to be.
Yeah, no. It's just because I have something in mind, but I just don't know if it's the right kind of point for it. Like, it's just mainly with the cause of Connor's death was one of my waters leaked without me realizing, and just being a first time mum, I kind of thought that discharge was normal when you're pregnant. That's what I was told,
Mm,
and
yeah.
was my waters leaking actually, and that's how he got an infection and it got up into his lungs, and that's where he died from. He essentially died from a massive lung infection, and that it got into the placenta and all that. And it's just for a first time mum, you don't know what's right, what's normal, what's
Yeah.
not. So when I was told that when we had his review after he died, it's like, you should have known you were leaking, and it's like, well, should I have? I
Wow. That's
Yeah. So I
something
just
really, really rude
yeah,
to
like
say,
it,
something heartless to say.
yeah. So I just I just don't want other mums to feel like they should know if things are
Yes.
going bad. Like, because it's just trust in your body, I guess. Like, even though I don't feel like mine let him down, it just I feel like he wanted to come, but then the waters didn't break fully, and so that's what happened. But yeah, it's just always just if you feel something's not right, just get it. Yeah, because
Yeah.
so what I loved about my midwife is that she didn't care if I rang her with something small. She was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's normal and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it's just I feel like you need to just trust in yourself
Yeah.
and not expect to know everything, because you don't when you're because I had no idea what I was getting into with being a mum and being pregnant.
Exactly. We don't know what we don't know. And I think actually like one thing that is important that you said is it's not your fault that
Yeah,
you did not make that connection and that there are so many things that um I I feel like people often take pregnant women not serious when they
mm,
come with worries. And I rang the hospital or the ambulance when I was bleeding before I went into the hospital that night when my son was born. And they were making, I want to say making fun of me, but they were not taking me serious.
yeah,
They were like, oh, everything will be fine. And we had two hospitals in the same range, maybe 10 minutes difference, and they knew the one closer did not have a preemie station. Like no, how's it called in English? Nico?
yeah,
Ni-
yeah. And
Uh,
I know I can't think of it, but I know it is. Yeah,
so no, there is no neonatal
yeah,
support,
yeah,
especially for preemies. Like, and they only have children after 30 weeks that they can support there. So I've been in that ambulance, I've been arguing with the guy who was supposed to take care of me and like care for me and support me mentally and physically.
mm,
And so I was bleeding and I had cramps. And it was the driver who said in the end, "No, I'm gonna go to the hospital with the neonatal care station." Um, and I mean, you know, I know my son died in the end, despite having this support, but I would have beaten myself up so much.
Yeah.
If I would have said that once and then said like, okay, if you say everything is not going to be all right, I feel different, but I believe you.
Yeah.
And everyone who did that, and who made that decision, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, you did anything, it's totally right. You did everything you thought was best in that moment, and you trust the people who are supposed to have a better knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I would have, if he would not have listened and I would not have fought that much, and my son would have died right in hospital, and I knew if I had said something, it might have ended differently, not knowing. It's
it's the not knowing.
yeah.
Yeah. You're like, being in Taupo, we're kind of classed as a rural hospital. They have 2 birthing units and 3 rooms you stay in. So they don't no neonatal care here. They don't even have a pediatric doctor on call here. There's nothing. So when I was pregnant, my partner and I made the decision to go to Rotorua because it's only 40 minutes drive, and we just thought, on the chance something goes wrong, we'll go to Rotorua. It got to the night of my labour. It was freezing cold, icy roads. I was too uncomfortable to even get in the car to drive to the hospital down the road. So I was like, there's no bloody way we're driving all the way to Rotorua. I'll have him here. Had a straightforward pregnancy, and when he passed, all I could think of was if we had gone to Rotorua, would he have survived? But they told me that there was either way he was going to be born with a very severe lung infection, and there was they might have got him to breathe, but he probably would have been on a machine, and he might have been brain dead regardless. So that was the hardest part. And because it took so long to get the autopsy results back, it took about a year. That whole year, thinking, what if we'd gone to Rotorua? Would he be here? Did I stuff up as his mum by not giving him the best chance by going to the wrong hospital? But no, because the way they said the ED team here did exactly what the ED team would have done, or the emergency doctors would have done in Rotorua. So
and even if not, it is something that we always decide to our best knowledge. That's the thing. Like I learned so much about forgiveness, self-forgiveness, and forgiving other people. That's just, I guess, an important step in healing. Going, that, and I forgave so many things that already happened before Simon died, that because I learned that forgiveness is such an important part.